Welcome to Idea Tennis, where we challenge ideas, elevate thinking, and serve up conversation that make you question everything. If you're not willing to put your past at risk, that means you're not willing to have a different future. That's the whole point here.
Commitment is hard.
Mhm.
Commitment is really hard. Showing up when you don't want to show up, when you don't know what you're showing up for, that is hard. You have to have courage to move past that. Growth is painful. Change is painful. But really, nothing is as painful as staying stuck in a place that you don't belong or staying stagnant in life. To me, I cannot imagine what life would be like if I did not wake up having purpose. If I did not wake up wanting to choose hard. Every day, we get faced with choices. If you don't like the story today, turn the page and write a new one. But staying stuck and focusing on the past is never going to get you to finish.
Jess, we're back again. And you know what? I got to congratulate us on getting to over 30 something episode where it's just you and I really going at it and getting ourselves all grounded into this process of talking, having conversation a week, entertaining people, educating people. And I just want to congratulate how you feel about this journey so far.
When we started in October, I would have never really imagined that we would keep it going and that it would have gotten the response that it has so far. So it makes me feel grateful that we could be of service to people through our conversations and just share our insight from our experience with people.
Yeah, I like this actually, the style here. And some of my favorite podcasts have is like this as well, where it's just two people get together. And I like this podcast with Dan Sullivan. It's him. He had a couple different versions. I'm not gonna give the names. But I was listening to one of them and something he said that's really hit me. And I want to talk to you about it today because we're gonna go back to our original method where we just do a lot of coaching just back and forth, you and I. You coached me and I gave you some feedback on my side, you give me feedback, the idea tennis framework. And we had did this mini series just kind of like, build out some different areas in marketing and entrepreneur stuff, so forth and so on. We did. And that went very well. But I want to take us back to the beginning when we was doing the coaching part of it. I enjoy that part of it. How about you? How you feel about that platform, that setup?
That's the part I love the most. That's the part I come alive the most.
Okay, so I'm gonna open with this quote I heard from Dan Sullivan. He say, "If you want a different future, you have to put your past at risk." And when he said that, he got my brain turning. I'm like, wait a minute. But then it made me think about this deeper question where you come back to when it comes to identity and how you see the world, right? And the question I would ask the audience is: the world a dangerous place or a beautiful place to you? How do you see the world? And whatever the answer is, it's not going to be a right or wrong answer. It's just going to be a way of awareness, recognizing how you actually see the world. And I'm going to tell you something that happened to me when I was in the military. When I used to deploy, right? I remember when I came back from deployment, and while I was deployed, I often see the world as a dangerous place. But when I came back, I was doing the same thing. I was seeing the world as a dangerous place, even though I was back in my safe environment. And I recognize that it's how you see the world determines what you see in the world. And we don't see the world the way it is. We see the world like who we are. So then my question for you, Jess, is do you see the world as a dangerous place or a beautiful place, and how that affects how you see the world?
I see the world as a beautifully dangerous place.
Beautifully dangerous. All right.
Beautifully dangerous. You asked, how do you see the world? And how do you see the world? How do you see yourself? How do you see yourself in the world? I think all of those questions have to do with a person's mindset, their belief system. Are they positive and optimistic, or are they negative and always waiting for the next shoe to drop? If you think about everything that happens in life, and you've seen probably things that most of us have not seen being deployed for 22 years, but even in the most traumatic situations, there is some goodness to be found. But it's whether we're looking for that goodness or we're so focused and stuck on the trauma or what's happening around us. I'm friends with Fat Joe, and he says, in your darkest moments, you find the most clarity. And
Mm.
that's really true. You have nowhere to go but up sometimes. When you've hit rock bottom, or when you think that you've reached the end, you only have one choice, and that's to move forward, go up, figure it out. When we talk about, is the world beautiful? Is it dangerous? It's a combination of both.
And that is the point that I want, if you listen to this right now, that you recognize it's both. And what you see in the world, it comes from how you see the world.
Yes.
And my deployment and my redeployment process helped me recognize that, because I didn't understand why I was so anxious, why I was to talk about PTSD, and that stuff is real, my friend. Because oftentimes when you go places and you experience a certain experience, you take that experience with you into a place that, the home is safe, but that you still feel like you're on defense. And oftentimes you don't recognize it until someone says, "Hey man, why you behaving that way? Why you acting like this?" I'm looking for threats everywhere, bro. And everything about you that resemble that behavior threat, I'm seeing it threatening, even though it might not be. I love the saying that I was listening to this one book, and the guy was like, if you behave offensive, you're gonna automatically result in defensiveness. So if you think offensively, people are gonna respond defensively. So if I speak to you and offend you, automatically your defense is gonna go up. And if you don't understand how that happens to people, it's based on how you see the world, how you're behaving. So it comes back to your own mindset, like you said.
That's why I say, when someone has the mindset of wanting to be better and do better, the only way that can happen is if they know better and they need people to show them and to tell them. When people respond like defensively, sometimes you ask a person an innocent question,
Mm-hmm.
and they come back at you like aggressive and very defensive. That says a lot about the person, about their mindset, and where their focus is when they're having a conversation with you. Whether it's personal relationships or professional, it happens all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to recognize and realize that sometimes when people point things out to you or ask you a question, sometimes it is just that, simply a question. Don't read more into it. Don't make it something that it's not. See things for face value, to me, is the first approach that I try to take for all things. Again, because my mindset is, I want to be better, even if it's 1%, half a percent, 0.2% better tomorrow than what I am today. I was at a store earlier today, and I was checking out, and the cashier was very friendly and asked me if I wanted the store credit card. And I said, no, thank you. Right. And then when I was leaving, I could see his name tag, and the guy's name was Joe. And I said, have a blessed day, Joe. He lit up and he was like, keep your sun shining bright, miss. And I was like,
Mm.
thank you. God bless you. And I walked away. Me doing two things. One, like speaking to him as a human being and not just as the person checking me out. Saying his name, let him know that I was paying attention. I was just as invested in this transaction as he was charging it. That small thing makes a difference. But now, if I had gone there and had the same transaction with the same guy, and instead of giving him respect and treating him with kindness, I did the opposite. I was disrespectful in how I responded when he asked me, did I want a credit card? That's his job to do, by the way. He was just doing his job. Or if I was negative to him as if I was in a rush, that whole interaction would have been much different. Realizing that what we bring to the table determines
What's at the table?
who's at the table.
I'm gonna go back to that one quote from Dan Sullivan. If you want a different future, you have to put your past at risk. And a lot of us are not willing to risk the past that we have created, because sometimes you need to change something about it. Like, you've hold on to this thing for so long, just like, this is my way of doing things. and I wouldn't risk changing it, but it's not serving me anymore. It's not helping me. So if you're not willing to put your past at risk, that means you're not willing to have a different future. That's the whole point here. If you're not willing to put your past at risk, the future would not change. You will have the same exact future resembling of the past because you won't change anything. And when I was talking about my view of the world, because I was looking to the world as a dangerous place, that my entire past for the last 12 months was a dangerous place. And I was carrying that same past into the future that I'm in safe zone. Back home in my hometown, but I was still looking at the world as a dangerous place. And I was creating that same feeling in my body, that same anxiety and PTSD and whatever you want to call it, right? I was experiencing that even though the environment I'm in was safe, but I was still feeling like I'm in combat. And that's my story. And that's my awareness that's saying, hey, if you don't change all you see, the world's going to look the same no matter what, the way you go, it's going to look the same because you are filtering the world. You are seeing the world through your eyes. And like Myron Golden says, if your mind is blind, I say if your mind is blind, you won't see the opportunity world because you don't see with your eyes, you see with your mind. And your mind is where your mindset at. It's not in your eyes, by the way.
Because it's almost as if your mind was playing tricks on you. Physically, you were in the present, but your mind, your mindset, your emotions, everything else was living in the past. And letting go of the past is very hard for a lot of people. People we come across all the time in this entrepreneurial roller coaster say they want something different. The question then becomes, are they willing to do something different? Do you have more reasons why to move past your past, a play on words, to be able to get to a different destination? Because we're talking primarily to entrepreneurs and people that build in community. When we think about, we all make mistakes. We all make mistakes. The mistakes do not define who we are. The mistakes don't define the outcome or the end result. What does determine that is, did you learn from the mistake? When you're so stuck in the past, whether sometimes you have the yin and the yang of people stuck in the past, reliving the glory days when things were so great and exactly how you had planned, and they still live in that. 20 years later, they're reliving 20 years ago, the highlight or what they perceive to be the highlight of their life. And you have other people who are stuck in the negative of the past, the things that they tried and didn't work out. And so that's all they focus in on, what didn't work, what didn't work, what didn't work. And instead of focusing in, why didn't it work? What could I do different now if I tried it all over again this time that would make a difference, that would make it work, that would give me a different outcome? But letting go of the past is essential when you want to create a future that is more than just a collection of your present days. I mean, when we talk about what you did yesterday, what you did today, and what you do tomorrow, what do those 3 days look like for you? Do they look different? Do they look the same? I mean, yesterday I did something different. Get ready to hold your hat, Asher. I mean, you were a part of it, but you know what I did. I asked for help. I asked for help. That's different for me. Part of this entrepreneurial journey, I've realized I can't do everything by myself. I don't know how to do everything, and there's things I need help with. And so I did something different yesterday than I had the day before. And that needs to be the focus when you're talking about, how does tomorrow look different? How do you move past the things that either held you back, or that's even some, again, the things that worked 20 years ago don't work today anymore. Like, how do you move past that to get to where you want to be? What was the thing, Asher, that got you to be able to move past the trauma of feeling like, all right, I'm back home. I'm technically in a safe place, but I don't feel safe. What was the thing that made you feel that it was okay, that you were safe?
I'll tell you the thing that made me realize where I was at was the people I was around. And when I was around them, I was noticing them. Like you see, they're wondering on people's face something like, why is Asher acting like that? Like what? Like, then I realized, wait a minute, why am I acting like this? So you start comparing yourself to the environment you're in and the people that's operating in the environment. You realize, wait a minute, I am out of character in this environment. I'm bringing the wrong character here, and I gotta shift that character that belongs in this environment. Who I need to be here? Oh, I don't need to be the soldier here. I don't need to be looking for threat here. There's no threat here, right? I need to feel like I'm enjoying my environment, like the fruits of my labor. And I would say the people was the reason why I recognized, because I was noticing how they was responding to me when I was projecting, the soldier on them. And I was like, Asher, you need to tune it up, bro. You're on the wrong channel right now. Like, get on the right channel, bro. I was like, oh snap. I remember the guy that left before he went downrange. No, I gotta find that guy and build back from there. So oftentimes I gotta recalibrate based on the environment I'm in, and oftentimes the best way to recognize that is the sign that's around you.
Trauma is valid, but it doesn't have to be someone's brand or their business. When we think about people that share stories that become the foundations of their business, those are the stories of overcoming, right? You needed a challenge or trauma or something to have happened in order for you to overcome. It's the victim versus the victor mentality. It's being able to recognize that, yes, this bad thing happened, but it again doesn't define me, who I am, where I'm going, or even what I want in life. Being able to move past it is a way to be able to recognize, yeah, I went through hell. That's a testament of who I am. That's a testament of what I have the ability to overcome. That's a testament of healing and being able to lead with love as a result of the healing that I've worked on. Because healing, personally and professionally, you need to love on yourself and you need to love on others. It takes work to heal. When you think about a bad business deal and then you don't trust anyone ever again, I mean, like,
Sometimes you justify it, sometimes you're not.
yeah. I will also share this. I don't think I've shared this before on our podcast yet. I don't trust a lot of people.
You
I've
haven't
been
shared that, Jess.
I've been burned a lot in life
Mm.
because I say one of the best parts of me is that I have a big heart. One of the worst parts about me is that I have a big heart because people misunderstand that and try to take advantage of that. And so I needed to be able to identify the people who were worth the risk versus the people who weren't. And being burned one too many times, I look at things very different than most people, where in business and in personal, I don't trust a lot. It even goes back to like why I don't ask for help as much as I probably should, right? Is it something that I recognize and something that I work to, I don't want to say fix, because I don't necessarily think there's anything wrong with the fact that I am skeptical sometimes and that I'm not always as trustworthy. People need to show me who they are in order for me to believe them now. Before, I would believe them before they actually showed me. And that's a thing.
This is good. This is good. Thank you for sharing that. I would think there's place for naivete. There's place for skepticism. I mean, there's space for optimism. There's space for all of that because we're talking about lenses now, because how we see the world matters. And if you want to see people showing you their obligation, commitment, and integrity, then you just put on those lenses. I want to see that first. That's okay. Or if you're like, hey, I'm gonna take a risk, and if the stock goes down and I lose my money, I'm okay. But you get to decide what you want to get from the thing, or you want to approach the thing. And I'm okay with that because I'm here to collect experiences. So when I go in a situation, I'm like, what do I want to get from this experience? What am I willing to risk? We're talking about risking your past. What am I willing to risk? Or if I lose it, I'm okay with it because what I'm going to gain from it is an experience that I wouldn't gain if I didn't risk the past or the identity or the status or the character, right? I'm up to willing to risk that. So I'll go into the situation like, yo, what I want to get from it. You were talking about the deal friends or what do you call it, the real friends or the deal friends? Who said that? Somebody said the deal friends or the real friends. I'm going with the deal. Hey, we gonna get just some transaction here. And what I'm gonna get and what I'm gonna lose, I'm okay with either one. Or the person you talk about the real friends, right? Who's saying, okay, they don't have nothing to give me, but I like him anyway. I'm gonna do this for them, whether they have something to give or not, right? We got those people in our life. But I go in there with the lenses of what I want to see and experience. And you gotta know what lens to put on. So good to you that you're on like your skepticism lens is awakened. So that means you know when to put them on and when to take them off.
What I realized is that, including myself and you and everyone else we come across, the future self, the future version of us doesn't need to prove anything. We just need to do. We just need to perform. And in the performance shows the proof. When your actions and your words align, I've met some slick talkers in life.
You gotta watch out for them.
Yes. I'm not gonna lie, Asha. I thought you were one of them at first. I was
Well,
like,
you wasn't way off. I was a slick talker. I'm getting better though. I'm getting better.
this guy, I don't know if he's the real deal or not. We're gonna see. So initially, the lens of skepticism was what I saw you as, and then I saw your heart and your mind and your intention came through. But so many people feel like, and I was once there, and I'm sure you once were too, before you had external validation, you felt that you needed to prove why you needed to be sitting at the table or why you were worthy to be in a room with certain people. And the only proof that you could give are words, almost like becoming your own hype man, talking yourself into sometimes something that wasn't reality yet. And yes, you manifest those things, and I encourage people to manifest those things. But equally, if not more important than manifesting those things, actually going out and doing them and showing people that, my word is my bond. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do something. And if for whatever reason the universe is conspiring against me to do whatever, I'm also going to say, I'm going to say it. I'm not going to, I hate people. Let me rewind that. I may edit that out. We'll see. Because I don't like the word hate. That's a very strong word. I
You
don't hate.
despise.
I dislike people that, yes, that when you can't show up. And sometimes we can't show up or we can't do what we said we were going to do because of external factors, things that are beyond our control. Say it. Don't wait until the minute of or when it passed to say it. Have enough respect for the person or people that you're working with and show them that your word is your bond, and show them that your actions are matching your words, even if you can't show up for whatever reason. Don't, yeah, the people that ghost me or that, and listen, we've had conversations about, I don't need to respond to a text message immediately, but don't ghost me for 2 weeks and then send me a message like, oh, hi, how are you? Because you're not going to like the response you get back.
I'm gonna jump into the 4 C's, but before I go there, I want to say something you said earlier that we all have some kind of not good enough thing. Whatever you're not good enough is, we all got them. Like you just figure out what they are for yourself. Because sometimes those things gonna have you do certain things that maybe you gotta hype yourself up. You gotta say all these things because you want the validation, the acknowledgement piece. Like we all got those not good enough thing in our life. We got that. That streak is in everybody, and you could take a while to get over that. But I learned something from Dan Sullivan. I didn't. He talked about the 4 C's a lot, but I never really understand it to the core until a few months ago. I was listening, and your 4 C's is like commitment, courage, capability, and confidence. But when people started to walk away from things, I understand why it was like, see, commitment comes first because people just, they're so flaky. Like they're not committed. And I realized what, if you're not willing to commit, then I don't want nothing to do with you. But now I understand deeper what he was talking about because somebody start to work with you and then quarter way through it, they're like, they want to quit. I'm like, wait a minute, I thought you was committed. Or they get halfway through and they want to, but I understand why he was saying that the 4 C's matter Because if you don't have that first commitment piece, I don't want to work with you. Because you can quit on me when we get close to we get halfway into the thing. And like I just wasted my time hanging out with you and you just quit because you're not committed. But man, I didn't get it, Jess, until I was thinking for entrepreneur stuff. Like you can't afford to waste your time with people that are not committed. So if you're not gonna put the commitment strongly up front, don't come here talking about your dreams with me.
Yes.
I don't believe in them. I don't trust them because you're not committed. I'm not gonna work with you.
I have been there, done that, wasted time, wasted money, wasted so much.
So much.
I have believed in people more than they have believed in themselves because I saw the potential. And when I realized that does not serve me and that does not serve them, that the reality is I cannot make them commit if they are not in that space mentally, even physically. You could be physically next to me, but you're checked out thinking about something else. I now do not do business with anyone unless before we actually start business, they show me their level of commitment. I no longer chase people. I
Mm-hmm.
choose who I work with. That is a big, big thing for so many people, especially in the network marketing, multi-level marketing industries as entrepreneurs. We chase. It's
Mm-hmm.
the chase, the chase. We chase the people, right? What are you chasing people for? Those are not your people. Those are not the right people that you want to do business with if you are chasing them. You need to be in a position where you are choosing them, where you are choosing to work with them because of the commitment that they've made, that they've shown you, that their words and their actions have aligned even before they started their business, that you put them through, you pull them through the ringer. You make them work for it even before they start to do business with you, because that will go as proof that you need that that is the right person to work with.
I love Dan Sullivan's system too, by the way. He has a very high qualifying bar and a very high price. And I was like, I know why you're doing this now. Make the price steep because if you're not willing to pay to write that check for that price, I know you ain't committed. And my qualification is this. If you don't want to meet that qualification, then I know you ain't, if you're not willing to go, like I said, work or jump this fence to get this thing, then you're not committed. Because commitment is so important, like so important. You know, you mentioned you saw me hanging out with a friend that stopped by. I just want to say hello. And another challenge, one of the things I was telling this young lady is that your word of the year needs to be commitment. And I mean, that's the regular. I say commit to your foundational model, like whatever that foundational model is for you, commit to it, because you can market and sell people things, but what about your thing? Are you gonna commit to the thing? Like you have something like really good, commit to that thing. Spend the next 10 years working on that because 10 years from now you're gonna be at a certain age and that thing is never gonna get done. You're gonna get there, and the thing is so like commit. And that's one of the big lessons for my life when I was in the military. Like I spent 22 years like building this system, made it great. Can I make a system that will make me great outside of this system? And I'm gonna build it. I've committed to that. I'm like, I'm gonna invest the next 10 years of my life building my system, my foundational model. And I'm gonna die trying. 50 cents say get rich die or die trying. Well, that's the motto right here, girl. I'm just letting you know.
Oh man. Commitment requires the things that even Dan Sullivan says with the four C's. It does require courage and confidence. When you think about commitment, commitment is hard.
Mm-hmm.
Commitment is really hard. Showing up when you don't want to show up, when you don't know what you're showing up for, that is hard. You have to have courage to move past that. You have to be able to have the confidence to realize I'm going to show up. Whatever happens, it's
Mm.
meant to be, or it's not meant to be, or whatever happens, I'm going to take it as a lesson or a blessing. But showing up when there is doubt in your heart or in your head, when there is naysayers telling you all the reasons why something won't work, and you decide to show up anyway, that is courageous. That is a sense of confidence and posture that you have in realizing that You can't go wrong. The only wrong choice to make is to not give it a try, not check it out, not see for yourself so that you can make a decision that's well informed, or you can decide if this is something you want to move forward with, or you can figure out, are these your people? Is this the community that makes you feel at peace and at home? But unless you show up and unless you commit, you will never know.
Quitting is a habit.
Oh, yes. I told AJ, for those of you who are listening for the first time, AJ's my 7-year-old nephew. And sometimes he likes to quit things very quickly. And I tell him, quitting's not an option when you're with me. And he tells me why. I said, because if you quit one thing, you'll quit everything. So you need to give this your best shot, your best try, give it all you have and see if it works or if it doesn't work. See if you like it. If maybe you push past this hard part, you'll realize that you liked it. But you won't know if you quit now. You won't know if you quit now.
That's key. You say you'll realize if you like it. And the people think the like it part comes right at the beginning, but it don't. It don't. The like it part come after you get the capabilities.
Yeah.
And then when you feel confident about your capabilities, I like this because now people responding positive, like, oh, Asher, you good at this thing. Oh, Jess, you good at this thing. Well, when I started, I wasn't. I was clueless. But no, I'm not clueless anymore. Right? I'm clue more. I'm just yeah.
Growth is painful. Change is painful. But really, nothing is as painful as staying stuck in a place that you don't belong or staying stagnant in life. To me, I cannot imagine what life would be like if I did not wake up having purpose. If I did not wake up wanting to choose hard every day, we get faced with choices, the hard choices and the easy choices. And most people are inclined to go towards the easy choices because they're easy, right? They don't take much effort, they don't require generally much of anything, time, money, whatever. And I wake up every day and somehow I gravitate to the hard choices, the hard things that we have to do in life. And I feel like that for me is the best way to challenge myself and to grow. It is the best way to be able to learn from experience, to figure out what works, what doesn't work, to realize that me thinking that I may or may not be able to do this, but I'm gonna give it all that I got today is a challenge. It's almost like an adrenaline rush. It's almost as if someone is saying, oh yeah, you can't do that. And me looking at them like, hell yeah, I could do that. You don't know me. You don't know what I've got in me to be able to overcome whatever this difficulty is, personal, professional, whatever it is. I'm like, yes, come at me. Come with everything you got because it is just going to serve me to be better and do better.
At the end of the day, I think we look at life through the lenses that we have created for ourselves. And some of us are not happy with our own lenses, but we don't know how to change them.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't know how to change your lenses, then you gotta go find you an eye doctor. So somebody that specializes in, hey man, we can do some eye surgery on you, get you to see the world differently. But you need community. You need to be around other people that has done something differently to see what different looks like. Because I think at the end of the day, I think most people want to do something, but they want to guarantee that it's gonna work.
Yes. But there's
And
no guarantees, Asher, in life, in anything.
it
Only that
what
you're gonna die and you're gonna pay taxes. Those are only guarantees.
some people that skip the taxes, you gotta find those guys. How they do it? How they do it? But it's still coming back to like we want to see a blueprint of, hey, if I try this thing, it's gonna turn out a certain way. And oftentimes we're afraid to lose what we already gained. And in order for you to gain something else, maybe you gotta give up something you already have. And we're not willing to do that because we're not certain that the thing we're gonna get is better. But oftentimes it is.
So I have the best doctor.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
Dr.
The
Seuss.
ultimate doctor. Dr. God.
Oh yeah.
Yes, and he gave me vision to be able to see past now. And I think for all of us, it's a reminder of, if you have a deep-rooted faith in God, if you have any faith in anything, any higher being than you, you know that your path is already written. Your
Mm-hmm.
job now is to be obedient, put in the work, and follow the path and the plan that God has set for you in your life. Doesn't mean that it's going to be easy. Absolutely not. But it means it's already written. You have to do your part. I will also say this: your life can completely change in 1 minute, for
Mm-hmm.
the good or for the not so good. Your life can completely change. You can go from being anonymous to being essential in 1 minute. You can go from no one knows your name to you're viral in 1 minute. But it requires you to be able to do something different if you want a different outcome for your life. It requires you to be able to have more faith than fear, and to realize that you have a part in this beautiful story that you call your life. If you don't like the story today, turn the page and write a new one. But staying stuck and focusing on the past is never going to get you to finish the book.
Here's a mindset shift, by the way, for folks that don't get the 1 minute that you just mentioned. So, for example, imagine that you've been struggling, you want to find a car or a transportation to get to work. You don't have a car. You're like, I'm stressed. I need a car, and I wish I have the money to buy this car. Say, for example, you out there, you ask a lot of people, nobody's helping you. But then one day somebody shows up and says, hey, I'm gonna use for example, Jess. Hey, Jess, you've been stressing about this car thing. You know what? I will give you the money to buy the car, but I'm gonna give it to you 30 days from now. Right in that moment, you have a different feeling. You don't have the car though. It's gonna get you 30 days, but for some reason, that stress and stuff, it changed in that instant. The mindset shift. Somebody give you hope just now. In 30 days, I'm gonna give you a car, but right now I still on the car. Yesterday, I'm in the same situation I was in yesterday and today. I still don't have a car. But somebody says one little word. I'm gonna give you the money in 30 days when they get the car. And you felt like, life is different. That's how mindset shift happened. Just one thought, one word, one little bit of hope, change your mindset.
It really does. And I'm going to add to the fact that once that mindset shift occurs,
Mm-hmm.
even in the 30 days that you don't have that car, all of a sudden getting to work is no longer a problem. You figure it out because it's almost, you see the light at the end of the tunnel. You see that you struggle to get to work in these 30 days, however you can. The end of the 30 days, you're going to have a car.
Mm.
But what was it that gave you that shift in perspective that you didn't have before? Because there's hope, there's light at the end of the tunnel. Well, how about if Asher didn't offer me that car in 30 days, but I realized that if I see this as a challenge to be better and do better, and something that I have the capacity within me already to figure out, if I don't focus on the negative and I focus on the positive, I focus in that I'm grateful I have a job to go to. I'm grateful that there's the train, the bus, a carpool situation that I get to have access to get to work. I'm grateful. We've heard stories like on the news and on television of people walking miles to get to a job because they don't have a car, or, and for some of us it's so unheard of, like that's not normal to walk that many miles to get to a job. You do what you have to do. When you have a bigger reason why, then you have excuses.
You're asking people to do the hard serve part of it. And what you say, it's another option, but it's the hardest one based on our condition. That's why I love community, because you might not be able to tell yourself that, but somebody in the community or somebody as a coach might come and says, "Hey, man, this isn't a solution, and the solution is gonna get to you 30 days from now." And right then you feel like, okay, all right, like I'm not doing this alone. Like this is a solution. I can see it. 30 days. I've been through 30 days of stress. I can think I can get through another 30 days. But it shifts the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you look for solution now. Because now I'm gonna tell you it's a personal story. I remember I was going through a really tough time. Like I was down on funds and everything, stressing. I was trying to get to an event for my kid. And I was like, man, I ain't got the money to do it. And I was talking to one of my buddy. For some reason, he called me that day. I don't know. We haven't talked in a while. I was like, what's going on, brother? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I was like, what's going on, man? Talk to me. What's going on? I'm like, yeah, man, I'm stuck here, man. I got a little thing going on, whatever. I said, man, you know what, bro? I'll get you the ticket. I'm gonna get you to your kid thing. But guess what? He never followed up on giving me the ticket. But in that moment, it shifted my mindset. I'm like, oh, I got help. But then I found a solution for the thing I needed before he gave me the solution. But because I got a shift in how I was thinking about it, allowed me to see more solution that I wasn't looking at because I was stressing. I don't have it, I don't have it. But then my body, yeah, I get it to you. I don't think you know what he did for me in that moment. But even though he didn't do it for me, I still wasn't mad at him for not showing up for that. But he switched my mind a little bit. And I stopped thinking about, I don't have this thing, I can get it, to, oh, I can get it. But then I start seeing other ways of stuff that are showing up. So automatically my mindset shift from like the scarcity piece to like, I have a solution, something's coming. Other things start showing up that I wasn't noticing, but it was already there. I just didn't notice them, but I was stressed. So anyway, I just want to share that.
You just proved my story. You just proved what I said. You just proved what I said. I want to say this. When we talk about community and even the purpose of this podcast and trying to enlighten people to think differently, I do feel, and the Bible tells us, teach them, don't judge them.
Mm.
Show them the way. The guy that we are making up the story of the car, not having a car and needing to go to work. The perspective of having gratitude and positioning his mindset to what can I do?
Mm.
The fact that you asked that question out loud, it's almost as if God, the universe, they start to conspire for you to bring you the answer of what you can do now. What do I have control of? What is possible? And then who can help me? When we think about community, especially, I love my Hustle with Heart community for so many different reasons,
Mm.
but they all bring a unique perspective to life, to business, to conversations. And all of us have that mindset of you don't want to be the gatekeeper. It's almost as if you want to share everything you know with everyone you know, that it's selfish to have the answer and not tell someone or not show someone, or that someone has a problem or is stuck and they don't know how to overcome or do, but you know because you've been there, you've done that, you've overcame. And so being able to realize that it's not about what I know for me, for my sake, but what I know that can help somebody else. That to me is where the value is. That to me is the difference maker. That to me can help somebody from being stuck in their past and self-sabotaging themselves and doing all the things that they should not be doing in order to be able to get to some place that they want to go. That to me is like what I'm here to do.
I'm gonna go back to the opening. We talk about risk, putting the past at risk. And here is how you put the past at risk. You just gotta tell people what's in the past that's frustrating you, what's holding you back, what's pissing you off. I think it was Miles Monroe's that says any problem that pisses you off, frustrates you, make you mad, he was born to solve. But then you gotta tell somebody about it, because sometimes the solution is not with you, it's with somebody else. And by sharing that with somebody else, you connect, and that connection builds something else. Just like a man and a woman, right? The woman needs to have a baby, the guy needs to have a baby, right? Something happens and they come together, right? but they share their problem. Hey, we need to have this thing going on. From the process comes a baby, right? A new birth. So everything is designed for a relationship and connection. And even your problem and solution is a relationship thing. The problem needs to have a relationship with the solution. And oftentimes you don't have them both because you can't have a relationship with yourself like that, right? You need another person, you need another problem. And I recognize that you got to put your past at risk. That means you got to share the things that's in your past because somebody might need it for their future. But if you don't share it, then what happened? Nothing changed for you and the other person because they don't get the thing from your past and you get the thing from their present.
Your past, though, and we've said this, are all the reference points of who you are today. So while there are some things that no longer serve you, there are many more things that have helped you become who you are. It's being able to figure out what are the things that are weighing me down that I let go of, that no longer serve me, and what are the things that help me get to where I am today that will be the same things that help me get to where I want to be tomorrow. Being able to realize that the future is not guaranteed based on whatever your past was. The future is based on what you do now. Those reference points are going to determine what you do now. So it's being able to realize that the doing part is the thing that helps get us unstuck. The doing part is the thing that helps us let go of the heavy past that's no longer serving us. And the doing part is the thing that solidifies all the good, right, beautiful choices that we made that got us here today, that if we continue to do, will get us to tomorrow.
This was a great conversation today, Jeff. We're back to the idea tennis part of coaching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoyed this conversation today.
Yeah, it's been we're gonna keep rapping like this until we get to I get to see you in Greensboro in not too long. What 7 days from now? Whenever tennis podcast comes out, it's gonna be way after, but
Yeah.
it's gonna be way after, but
Yes, I'm
we're gonna
getting
get
you
to
to
hang out.
leave your house,
I know.
Asher.
2026 is my year, folks. You're gonna see me back out there playing in my favorite hobbies and things I like to do. But I'm building a system right now. Like just I'm telling you, I found so much solution. I've been doing a lot of deep research this week with ideas that have been coming to mind and putting my work done. Like one of my favorite tools right now on ChatGPT is a deep research tool. Like that, I'll tell you this, Jess. We're going off topic right now, but this is gonna be a longer one. I'm not gonna hold this too long. But I remember way back, I think it was 2018 when I was trying like I was in the military, but I was thinking about getting out and being an entrepreneur. And I was building my first business plan I was putting together. So then I was figuring out how to do market research on it. And I remember I was talking to this one guy that the organization does this. And they was like, oh, it's gonna cost you at least $5,000 actually for us to do this deep research, give you all that stuff to put. Like, what? Just today, ChatGPT deep research is doing that stuff that those folks was doing. Very easy. Takes like 10 minutes. I need to give me back something like incredible. So I am so blown away. So I'm advising right now to get busy on the deep research tool. No ChatGPT agent is there too. So that means you can do your deep research and they tag team with your agent to do some work. It's changing, Jess. I'm like, listen, I'm out of the door now with the business process. Like all my system is firing on all cylinders. I have the resources at my tip to know I can do a lot of work. I can achieve a lot because now all these ideas, I get to do market research. And I ain't gotta click on all these websites by myself. I get ChatGPT to go do it for me.
Because you were able to let go of the past and the things that didn't serve you.
Yes.
Yes. You walk by faith, not by sight, Asher. You realize that there is light at the end of the tunnel, but you just got to keep moving. And that's the message for today. There is light at the end of the tunnel. You just have to walk by faith and not by sight and realize that in God's perfect timing, everything will arrive, that you are more than enough, just as you are. You just got to go out and do.
And with that, folks, you guys, you know what? Let me say this before we close. Subscribe, please. Yeah, subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. We're trying to unlock these opportunities on YouTube, so we need the numbers to go up. Folks are listening, you're watching. Just go ahead and subscribe, please. We appreciate it. Hit the bell if you want to get notified when the episode comes out. But if you just want to subscribe and just know that, hey, you're part of the count, help us elevate, please do that. With that, folks, make it an utterly fantastic week.